Susie quickly. Morning, Susie. Could you start at past and let us know, please? Thank you. Morning, welcome to the meeting of the licensing panel. Can I also invite you to elect a chair?
Nominate Mike Giles.
Seconded.
In favour?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll hand over to the chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to everybody and good morning to this. Welcome to this meeting of the licensing panel. I am Councillor Mike Giles and I'm the chair of the panel. Councillors Catherine Keats-Rowan and Anne-Marie Simpson also join me today on the panel. I have a few statements to make before we proceed with the meeting. Please can everyone ensure that they have all mobile phones and any devices switched off or on silent during the meeting. In the event of fire, Democratic Services Officer will lead attendees outside the building where they should remain until directed to return. The meeting will resume once all attendees return to the meeting room and are ready to continue. If you have a question to ask for the meeting, you should raise your hand to alert me. Please do not speak unless invited to, and please do not interrupt other speakers. Those joining remotely, when you are not speaking, please ensure your microphone is muted and your camera is turned off. Are there any questions on this or any other issue which needs addressing? Okay, one other thing, are there any declarations of interest? Okay, the procedure of this meeting was included in the agenda pack. Could I ask if everyone has understood the procedure that will be followed, or does anyone have any questions they wish to ask at this stage? Okay. Panel are being asked to consider the decision notice for the grant of the licence from the hearing on the 16th of June 2021 and approves an amendment to the decision notice to include such conditions as are consistent with the operating schedule accompanying the application, which were the steps proposed by the applicant to comply with the licensing objectives at section M of their application, which the panel on the 16th of June 2021 decided should be attached to the licence. I will now begin this item and I invite the licensing officer to present their report.
Okay, thank you. So my report under Regulation 33 of the Licensing Act 2003 in brackets hearings regulations of 2005, which allows for procedural amendments to be made to decision notices, has been previously circulated, so I don't intend to read it verbatim. There would be one other interested party, which is the holder of the licence, the company Ale Van Bar and Events Limited, which now has one director. He has been served this report on the premises address, his home address and the company address. I did actually see him on last Friday, at which point he indicated he didn't know whether he was going to attend this meeting or not. I've tried to contact him this morning, left a message on his phone, and he hasn't got back to me. So I'm not expecting him to attend. So yes, the purpose of this report is to present the facts and history regarding the application for a premises licence for by the Ale Van Bar and Events Company Limited for a premises at 34 Hart Street, Henley on Thames. And I'm asking for the decision notice that was published on the 16th of June 2021 to be amended on the regulations that I mentioned earlier. And I'll now explain briefly why that was. So back in April 2021, the company applied for a new premises licence for this address. It's sent out for consultation in the normal manner, and there was one representation received from the council's environmental protection team. That meant that there had to be a hearing under the Licensing Act to determine whether the licence should be granted and in what form, and that hearing was held on the 16th of June 2021. As part of the application for any premises license, the applicant is required to submit what they suggest would be their steps to comply with the licensing objectives, which are the ones around prevention of crime, disorder, public safety, prevention of nuisance and protection of children. The applicant had done that in this case, and on their application in section M, they submitted quite a few, and that what they submitted is in Appendix A of your pack. And what the licensing team would normally do from that would be to turn those into licensing conditions, which are normally sent to the applicant for agreement before issue of the license or a hearing. And that was done in this case. And they were actually turned into the conditions that you can see in Annex 2 of the license, which is in Appendix C in your packet. So as is normal practice, at the end of the hearing on the 16th of June 2021, a decision notice was prepared to grant the license subject to certain conditions. And the decision notice of this hearing is in your pack at Appendix B. So I'll just bring Appendix B to your attention. So the decision notice sets out the activities that the license covers and the hours. And then it says the license is subject to the mandatory conditions under the Licensing Act and the following, and it sets out 4 conditions. And those 4 conditions were carried over into Annex 3 of the license, which is part of Appendix C. However, it did not mention that the agreed conditions that were presented at the hearing, and there was no mention of any disagreement with those. The decision notice did not say that they should be included, which I submit was an administrative error. After the hearing, the license that's included in Appendix C was prepared and sent out. On all the licenses that we send out, we ask the applicant to check them, which would be no different in this case, and we didn't hear any more. And so the premises has been running under that license since 2021. Recently, it has been necessary to speak to the premises about a possible breach of one of the Annex 2 conditions in the license. This was done with a solicitor present, and the solicitor had obviously done its homework and produced the decision notice and said, well, basically none of the conditions in Annex 2 apply. This was put to the council's legal team, Sarah, and she agreed with this. She's also said, and I agree with her, that this was a clear administrative error that can be rectified using the regulation that I mentioned earlier. And so I suggest that the correct wording should have said that the license is granted in addition to what we put, subject to such conditions that are consistent with the operating schedule accompanying the application. This approach has been put to the holder of the premises license. They haven't come back with any objections, and there is nothing in the Annex 2 which was different to the steps that they submitted in their original application. So this report seeks the approval of the panel decision notice to be amended to include those words after the reference to the mandatory conditions at the bottom of page 1 and set out in paragraph 3.10. So it is not a rehearing of the application, and you have no power to vary the conditions. And section 4 of the report covers some information about license conditions that you can add. So you've got the options there then to amend the wording of the decision notice as I request, or to do nothing, which would mean you would issue the license with all the conditions in Annex 2 removed. So therefore I am asking you to make the decision to amend the wording of the license based on a clear administrative error back in 2021.
Thank you for presenting the report, and that's very clear. I now invite panel members to ask any questions they may have to the licensing officer. Anne-Marie?
This has arisen because there was a clear administrative error. Are there steps in place now to prevent that being repeated for future licenses, not necessarily this one, but for future licenses?
There is a process for checking decision notices, and yes, this has been a learning experience for everyone, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I don't really think there's a great deal more to say, apart from, yes, obviously you tightened up your procedures. It seems quite straightforward to me, but the obvious thing to do is to put make this amendment.
Well, none from me either. Obviously, you've given this document to the applicant on probably 3 occasions, you said. And
yeah, it's been sent out 3 different ways to them.
Yeah, and you've obviously also attended and tried to encourage them to attend, or at least inform them of that verbally as well. So while they're not here, I think they've been given ample opportunity to attend and or comment, and they're not here today. So we trust they don't have any questions. Moving further on, I think we can get to the decision.
Right, I presume you'd like me to retire.
Yes.
Okay.
Susie, can we stop broadcasting for a moment, please? Thank you very much.